Hi, this is Glenda, and today I'm making a chocolate scented soap with these embeds, for which I have a video, which I'll probably link in the description box. The oils are at 39 Celsius or 103 Fahrenheit, and the lye water solution it's at 77 Fahrenheit or 25 Celsius, which is room temperature for me. I like to start by pouring the lye water solution, which is sodium hydroxide and distilled water, into the oils on top of the spatula to avoid splatters, and then just stir them for about a minute or so for everything to start mixing in together. The fragrance that I will be using is mint chocolate from Nurture Soap. This fragrance was at a sale, 40% sale, I think, and it smells really good. It smells just like that, like mint chocolate, and I love chocolate scent, and I think the mint really helps with it. I usually do not like to eat mint chocolates. I love chocolates, and I eat about a piece of chocolate every day, a small piece, not big. But with mint, I don't like it. However, in soap, I do like the smell of those two fragrances together. I did a quick blend with the stick blender just to bring it to an emulsion, and you can tell it's beginning to get emulsified when the mix starts looking more opaque. At this point, it had not reached trace first, and I decided to separate a portion to do some piping at the end. To cut down on the amount of dishes that I need to wash, I decided to measure out the fragrance doing the negative method. This is where you put the fragrance on a scale and you tear it out to 0, and then you pour it out until you have a negative, in my case, until I had a negative 2 ounces, which is what I wanted on this. And then I started to blend it. Now this fragrance is going to discolor to a dark brown because of the high vanillin content that it has. It is expected with chocolate and with any other fragrance that has a high vanilla or vanillin content. So I'm not worried about what's going to be in the body of the soap. But to the portion that I separated ahead, I am adding titanium dioxide. And to this portion, I'm not going to add any fragrance, just to keep it on the lighter side of colors, maybe a creamy white or so. And I'm going to blend it until it reaches trace, hopefully a thick trace. At this point, it's at medium trace. And I'm going to put it to the side while I pour the main body of the soap into the mold. The titanium dioxide should help getting it thick. Now the soap did not fill the mold entirely, and I did not want it to, because I didn't want these bars to be too big. I want them to be more on the square side. I did have a last minute idea to chop some leftover soap from one of the Starry Night soaps. So this soap smells like eucalyptus mint, and because it's green, I figure it will go with the mint portion of the fragrance, and then the brown, which the soap is going to turn brown, will be the chocolate. And I just added it on top, and I patted it with a spatula to make sure it got embedded well into the soap. And while I'm doing this, the white portion of the soap is continue to set up, and I will be checking on it to see if it's ready to be piped. It is looking thicker. It looks like heavy cream, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to add it. I am using a large star point, I think it is, and the bag, I feel, is kind of short. It uses a lot of room on the piping bag, and it feels like it's going to come out, so I didn't fill it up all the way. And I actually was very happy that it was holding the shape on the piping. Last time that I tried piping, I did it and it was still too soft, too runny, and it wasn't holding the shape too well. In this occasion, I remember that, so I was testing the soap with the spatula to see if it was holding any peaks if it was strong enough. And I'm glad that I waited long enough for this to be set. Then it was time to add the embeds, and I also have some chocolate sprinkles. They're not real chocolate, but I had some leftover brown soap dough, so I tried to chop it up into small pieces to sprinkle it later. It was a little bit sticking to itself, so it wasn't the easiest thing, but you'll see what it looks like later. A couple days later, I took it out of the mold to cut it, and you can see how it has started to brown a little on the edges, not on the inside yet because it hasn't been exposed to air. And one thing that I noticed is that the soap was quite soft, and it has been soft for a while. Part of it could be because it did not go through gel phase. The mold has a very small, thin wood layer, so it doesn't really insulate it. And then secondly, I did not use sodium lactate on this soap, so it has remained softer in the initial period. However, it's starting to harden up now after a couple weeks, and it should cure like normal after that. Anyway, we're reaching the end, and I thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great day.